Like, so he was like definitely a functioning alcoholic.
Hmm.
Um, but I guess when I was 11 or 12, he just quit drinking cold turkey.
Really?
Yeah, so that was cool to watch and became more present with me. Take me to all my baseball practices. He, wound up being an umpire for a lot of the games while I was pitching, which is kind of funny. He was like the umpire. That was always an issue when I was a kid. But my mom was she did her best. I don't really hold much against her. We're still on talking terms. I still interact with her, but she she was she was an alcoholic and sort of violent too. Um, yeah, I got into wrestling when I was really young, so she couldn't really hit me anymore. Like I could just kind of deal with it, but she was definitely like a mean drunk. But I mean, she was abandoned in a closet by her family when she was like 2 or 3, and then like whatever CPS was back then, they picked her up, and then she got adopted by my grandparents. Um, but I think with genetics and that childhood, she had a lot of issues, but she was definitely like a functioning alcoholic. I mean, both my parents were functioning alcoholics. They worked their asses off, but all of it, I didn't even think it was abnormal. I just sort of thought everyone sort of dealt with dealing with alcoholics. It wasn't until I got out, until I was in the military, and I got diagnosed with like traumatic brain injuries and PTSD. And I started talking about my childhood that I realized my childhood was abnormal. But I guess by most accounts, it's not that normal. And then I guess when I was around, I guess it was 5th grade, my half brother, so we had the same dads, different moms. He became a Navy SEAL a few years prior to me being in 5th grade, but he was part of the Leapfrogs. And so that's a recruiting team for the SEAL teams. And they jump into stadiums and they put like smoke on their heels.
Oh, I seen
And they
those.
like, yeah, and they kind of do all kinds of crazy shit when they're jumping in. And I saw that when I was in 5th grade. I grew up in Philadelphia, and he came to the air show, the Willow Grove Air Show. And then he jumped into the old Philadelphia Veterans Stadium for a baseball game. And he was there for an entire week. I got to see the whole thing. I got to see all the practice jumps. I got to wear like the old Philly Fanatic uh, mascot costume. And so I was like interacting with all these Navy SEALs for a week. And one key memory of that was my brother had a cutaway. So his chute didn't open properly. Uh, and he had a cutaway during one of his practice jumps and almost died and like acted like nothing happened. He came over, just like gave me a hug. And it was like at that moment, I was like, I want to fucking do that. Like, I want to be so badass that I can like do that, be calm, cool, and collected. And then from there, I went to be a Navy SEAL ever since I was in 5th grade.